We have just one more stop before we're done with the tour. Get it? Just happens to be my favorite. This colony is home to the longest running establishment still in existence, the Brown Horse Tavern. The Brown Horse started as a simple mess hall for the scientists and workers when the underground was built, but it's been operated by the same family ever since. Now, what's a horse, you might say? They were a large four-legged animal on Earth, often used for transportation or manual labor. Long before space travel was even a dream for the folks of Earth, even before antique machines like automobiles were possible, horses could be found everywhere. You might have seen them in old movies or read about them somewhere. If not, I highly recommend looking into them sometime. They're beautiful animals. The tavern's original owner was infatuated with them, from what I understand, and named the place in their honor. The moniker, Brown Horse Tavern, is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants hundreds of years before it was established. That delicious smell is making me hungry. Can I answer anything about the Brown Horse? Anya Seattle is the current owner of the Brown Horse. It's been in the Seattle family for generations. But Anya will be able to tell you more herself. Feel free to ask her. It doesn't feel right coming from me when she's standing right over there. Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly love everything Anya serves here. I'd be doing her a disservice to recommend one dish over another. You want the real answer? Order one of everything. Easy. All the other ones fell to ruin when we abandoned Earth. There were technically older ones on Mars, but those have long since shuttered or been replaced. Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop, right back where we began. Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here. These displays are full of rare Earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection. The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more. Well, that's that! I hope you enjoyed Starsap Tours as much as I enjoyed giving them. Sorry to hear. I tried to make it educational at least. Can't please everyone, I guess. Thanks anyway, and see you around. Take care! Hey there! Hope you brought a healthy thirst for... I'll be here if you need anything.
I don't get it.
I'm sorry. What don't you get? We live a simple life on New Homestead, but make no mistake, it's fulfilling. Hello there. Are you here to peruse our little museum exhibit? I know these trinkets may not look like they hold a lot of value, but they're the last of their kind. They represent humanity's last ties to Earth. There will never be anything quite like them ever again, not since we all left. But I can't expect everyone to respect that as much as I do. If you have any questions about the exhibit or New Homestead, I'm happy to answer as best as I can. It's an interesting story. New Homestead began as a scientific research base called the Titan Astrobase, back when space travel was in its infancy. The hope was that humanity would be able to discover simple alien life here given the moon's composition and water supply. When that ultimately failed, it was repurposed as a colony research base, where scientists and engineers studied how to build colonies on inhospitable worlds. Then, finally, when gravity drives were commonplace and we started finding Earth-like planets, New Homestead was born as a living history community to preserve that past. When our early colonists learned of Earth's demise, they decided to take on the names of their cities of origin as a way to remember their heritage. Now, some may have been lost in translation over the years, and some may have taken it more seriously than others, but the names are mostly accurate. For instance, my family comes from the city of Lyon, in a country that was called France. I am Maurice Lyon, and I am the community elder. As the oldest living citizen at 96, my only job is to keep Earth history alive. I tell stories to the young people and the visitors from other worlds. Although my memory isn't what it used to be, I try my best to get the stories right. Sure, I'd love to. There was once a war, so big that they say all of the world was involved. This was actually the second time it happened. They fought because a terrible man named Hitler rose to power and slaughtered many innocents. Millions were lost. Even the colony war pales in comparison. Why, certainly. It's what I do. There was a time when huge monstrosities called dinosaurs ruled over Earth, long before humans existed. They were similar to some of the larger life forms you might see elsewhere in the settled systems. Their reign ended when I can never remember if it was a comet, an asteroid, or a meteor that hit the Earth. Whatever it was, it nearly wiped out most of the life at that time. Let me think of a good one. A long time ago, thousands of years, humans built a wall so large it spanned the northern length of one of Earth's largest empires, China. They called it the Great Wall of China, and it was meant to keep out invading hordes. If I recall correctly, it didn't always work as well as they had hoped. I'll have to look it up again. Memory's not what it once was. Of course, certainly. We have several items in our collection that we rotate in and out over time, but they all originate from the same place, Earth. We have everything from toys to antique technology to sports memorabilia. We even used to have an old Earth vehicle, but we had to sell it when we ran out of space for it. Most of our collection was donated by fellow Earth enthusiasts and historians who felt it belonged close to the homeland here in the Sol system. Sorry. Enjoy the rest of your stay in New Homestead.
Hope you enjoyed the tour. Don't forget to tell your friends.
You don't want to get hurt or sick around here. Dr. Ricotta.
Well, hello there, and welcome to my little shop. Are you visiting New Homestead for the first time? Oh, that's funny. It happens to the best of us, I guess. I'm Jay. I'm happy to help you find what you're looking to buy or take a look at whatever you want to sell. Trades of all kinds are welcome here. Or if you have any questions for me about the shop, the merchandise, or even just New Homestead in general, I'm happy to help you. We used to, but not anymore. Believe it or not, the New Homestead Tourism Board decided a while back to do away with souvenirs. We don't really have the resources or facilities to make them here ourselves, and it was decided that anything less than that would seem exploitive of our people and inauthentic. Only thing we have are these souvenir slates about the history of New Homestead. Tell you what, I've got an extra one here that another guest left behind a while back. You can have it. I love them. Most of us in New Homestead appreciate what tourism does for our economic livelihood, so we go out of our way to make guests feel welcome. Some are indifferent about it, while a few others, I won't name names, are downright resentful of all the tourists and would prefer to be left alone. But that being said, I believe our generally friendly demeanor is a large part of what drives people to keep coming back. Glad you asked. I'm looking for all sorts of things. Anything, really. Clothing, weapons, jewelry, even stuff they consider junk. You name it. We don't get a lot of off-world stock, so I offer to buy things from travelers. Anything they're willing to part with. Between you and me, people around here talk a lot about tradition and whatnot, but even they get curious about what other worlds have to offer. Sure thing. I'm also interested in buying if you have anything for sale. Come back anytime. Maybe we can make a trade. Take care.
I still... can't believe people actually live like this.
It's been a while since I last visited.
Oh,
Nice to see the You don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates. Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am. You do? I mean, sure. I don't know what I can tell you, but if you want to talk, I don't have anything else I need to do right now. It's not as bad as you'd think. I like talking to off-worlders, especially people my age. It gives me ideas for what I want to do when I'm done with school. Because, honestly, I'm not sure I want to stay here. It'll always be my home, but as soon as I can afford to, I'd love to explore my options. Well, I'm trying to finish up my undergrad schooling, actually. I want to be a physicist like my grandmother. Then, who knows what. But I also do some odd jobs here or there for money. Sometimes I help Jay out at his shop, and he gives me stuff in return. Sometimes I help Anya clean up at the Brown Horse when she's short-staffed. That sort of thing. The crates are what we call the living quarters for the poor people, like me. They're made from old shipping containers. We have to make do with the space we have here. They're comfortable enough, I guess. And no one on Titan is well off to begin with, but you can tell that people look down on us, especially some of the tourists. Okay, well, no. Not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself. But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates. I keep having to take odd jobs just to put food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever. What? Really? I don't know what to say. This is beyond kind of you. I mean, I don't even know you, but... Wow. Thank you.
I'm pleased that you realize the importance of a decent education.
I know you didn't have to give me money. All these tourists, thanks for stopping by to talk.
It's one thing to learn about early colony life. It's another to experience.
Hi there. Welcome to Mel. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Pull up a seat. I'll take care of you. Welcome. I'm Anya. Is this your first time with us at the Brown Horse Tavern? Okay. Really? I know all my regulars, and I'm pretty sure you're not one of them. It's okay. There's nothing to be embarrassed about if you've never been here before. We've got an assortment of food and drinks, some of which follow homemade recipes that have been passed down over hundreds of years. So, what can I do for you? Oh, hardly. The locals pretty much stay away from chunks, so whenever they don't feel like cooking themselves and want a fresh meal, they come to me. Only the tourists eat that junk. But don't tell that to my husband. He manages the chunks. I love him, but he's a bit of a fanatic about it. You mean the Brown Horse? Well, it's only the longest continuous running restaurant since humans started settling outside of Earth. There's a lot of history within these walls. And some damn fine food and drink, if I say so myself. This place has been in my family for generations. My however many, great-grandmother opened it when the first colony started on Titan. Back then, it was a simple mess hall that she chose to put a little extra love and flavor into. And now, it's the pride of New Homestead. Let me show you what we have.
How about those brownouts
So
last
long.
week?
Tell your friends about us.
Ice mining
Hi.
operations are unusual, but if they're run properly, they can prove to be quite lucrative.
Oh, the tourists hated that.
Well,
I'm
Joyce
getting
says
antsy
she's
just
on it.
standing here.
Something about the
I've been
turbines
standing
freezing up
around
again.
here an awfully long time,
Joyce is
you know.
great at what she does.
Do I ever? Here.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing.
Hey, boss. Welcome to my old stomping grounds.
Did you know the museum here is
I'll treat you if you need it. If you take one of those stupid tours, make sure to follow the rules. Even though we don't have shiny new medical facilities, I imagine it's easier than wherever you're from. We have fewer people here, and we're very responsible when it comes to our personal health and welfare. So there's not much I can't handle. For anything else, we can get access to off-world specialists. Contrary to popular belief, we're not primitive. It's a harsh world, but as long as you're inside or wear a suit when going out, you'll be fine here. There's no breathable air on the surface, and you'll quickly freeze to death outside without protective gear, but otherwise the hazards are minimal. New Homestead was an early colony research base and has stood the test of time. It's safe, and it's proof that people can live pretty much anywhere. Don't worry so much. I don't. They make a mockery of New Homestead culture. And on top of it, they're reckless. It's like I said before, I feel like I'm treating them more often than our own people. The problem is that most of the tourists' injuries are from preventable accidents. Things our people know how to avoid. And often I have to take care of them first because they can't leave with their injuries, so I have to put off seeing my regular patients. So not only am I working extra hard for people who have little respect for me, it comes at the expense of our own. Actually, maybe there is. I have an idea that may be best suited for someone relatively unknown, instead of myself. I've got a mountain of work and a reputation to maintain. So I bought a realistic monster costume. The plan was to wear it, scare tourists away, and start a rumor about terrible creatures living on Titan. I figure that once word gets around, tourism will take enough of a dive to give me some relief. Maybe, I'm not sure. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't have any other ideas. The tourism board flat out won't help me, and I don't have money in the budget to hire additional help. And you know these tourists will believe anything they see and hear. I think it's worth a shot. Worst case scenario, I'm back to square one. That's the spirit. To be honest, I'm not sure it'll work either, but I feel like there's no harm in trying. Here's the costume. I think this will work best on the surface, so just find a group and run up to them, acting like a convincing alien monster. With any luck, they'll run screaming and book the next flight out of here.
We take vandalism seriously here. You don't mess with history.
We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
Hope you're not looking to cause any trouble in that car.
The people here live a simple life. Try not to complicate it. Careful, there are some dangerous areas.
Sure is cold out here, even with the suits on. I'm amazed people can live out here. This place is nice. Oh, dear God! What is that thing? It's going to eat us! Run! What is that thing? It's chasing me! Ah! 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 Get away! Get away! No! Leave me alone!
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here.
Enjoy your visit here.
Well, I can say the costume looks good on you. I bought it from a private seller. They said they got it from someone who wore it in a secondary school as their sports team mascot. I guess it was supposed to be a tardigrade or something. Anyway, the person I bought it from modified it a bit so they could use it in an independent movie they were making. But I guess that went nowhere, so they had to sell it. Lucky me, I suppose. I'll bet they won't be coming back anytime soon. Thanks for indulging me with my weird ideas. Tell you what, if you want to come back later and do this for me a couple more times, I'll even let you keep the costume. You wouldn't believe how many off-worlders think hiking the surface of Titan is... Just a sec. Let's take a look. What's going on here? I don't see anything wrong with you. Be well.
Sigma.
Too late.
I don't mind the tourists. They help.
New Homestead is a living.
That old Titan wind is going strong today. Oh, hello there. Are you here about the brownouts? That's usually the only reason people come up here to talk to me, since I'm the power system manager here. Oh. Yep, I get it all right. Yes, I'm in charge of the electrical power here. We generate a lot of wind-based power here on Titan, which is my specialty, so I was tapped to help navigate all the unique challenges we face here. Shocking, I know. Yes, the power shortages we're experiencing. Haven't you seen the flickering lights? This equipment is all very old, and the protections against the cold have worn down, so now, brownouts, all the time. And I get to deal with it. Hooray for me. You have no idea. Worse, I'm stuck up here overseeing the whole system, and we don't currently have anyone available to go out there and take care of the problem. Well, I just started this job a few months ago, but I'm loving it, despite all the small frustrations of working on ancient equipment. I came here as a child and did one of the tours. I loved it so much, I jumped at the chance to come back after finishing my studies in energy science. I know it may sound unusual, but I knew what I was getting into with Titan's harsh surface. The challenge is actually one of the things that attracted me to the job. No, New Atlantis, born and raised. It's okay though. I've always liked this quaint little moon. Not that it's actually that little as far as moons go. The people here were a little wary of someone coming in from the outside, but once I changed my name in accordance with their local customs, it went a long way to build trust. And that was fine by me. I feel proud, taking on the name of the Earth City my family came from many, many years ago. Did you see those huge wind turbines out there on your way in? They're our primary source of power generation. Titan's strong winds provide an almost constant source of power, as long as we can keep the machinery from icing over. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'm a little new to the job, and I'll admit I'm struggling a little bit. I could use some help. So I really want to impress everyone and show them I can handle this. But the power equipment is ancient and in need of replacement, if I'm being honest. We just don't have the money and the budget right now to do it. The previous technician was adamant that it was better to repair than replace. So he never submitted any replacement plans for budget considerations. We have to wait for next year. Oh, excellent. Then you must know how this old power system machinery can get crusted over with ice from time to time. That's what's causing these brownouts. I think you can take a laser cutter and break up the ice for us? course. I can spare some credits once the power comes back on full force after you clear the ice. Please, take care not to hurt yourself or damage the equipment while you're out there. I'll stay here and monitor the power systems. Thanks!
Did you see those wind turbines out there?
Careful not to damage the equipment. Good work. I should be able to take it from here. Thanks again for your help. It's not easy keeping these ancient... Bye.
crime has slowed down since you started. I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is up and running again, which is good for commerce, but also for smugglers. We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport, and we need to investigate. The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, I still have nightmares of my team turning on one another. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take time. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I've got faith we'll survive this. Well, technology-wise, criminals have always been one step ahead. No different now than it was centuries ago. Smugglers often have fancy shielding or scan jammers that allow them to evade the checks. But luckily, we can still use old-fashioned detective work to track these criminals down. It's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, New Atlantis is the safest city in the settled systems. How hard could your job be? Well, safety doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people. Hopefully the recent hires we've had will help solve that. Great. First, speak to one of the technicians over by landing pad B. Ask them if they've noticed any suspicious activity. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over at Aegis. When you're done, report back to me with your findings. Remember that job you did for Agent Plato? I finally had a reason to call in that favor he owes us. I asked him to pull the names and cargo of every potential smuggling ship that docked in the last month. He said he'll have a slate ready for you to examine. There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't know anything, move on to another. Right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen anything, they will give us something to go on. See you later.
The scan is perfectly safe. Please keep.
Hi there. Something I can do for you? Can't say I have. When you work a job like this, you see so many ships. They all sort of blend together. Nope. I just keep my head down and do my job. Speaking of which, I'd better get back to it.
Can I help you? It's about time. I've been telling my supervisor about that cargo ship for ages. Beginning to think he was ignoring me. That's the problem. I don't really look at the ship names when I work, just the ID number granted for clearance. I think it was UTC 5766B. I do know it's a cargo the manifest said they were carrying potatoes, spuds. I don't know what was in those crates, but it certainly wasn't rats. All right, bye.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep
My investments really took a pounding last week. I hope the market stabilizes.
I do feel betrayed, but they keep saying they've changed. Maybe I should give them a second chance?
No. I'm going to do it anyway, but no.
Yeah, you're right. I need to break the cycle. You think we need to worry about more of those things attacking? Hello.
Listen, I hope you're not here to report something. If you are, it means you. That I do, Captain. Sergeant Yumi said you'd be coming to pick it up. You've got good timing, too. I actually have a friend on a classified star station who sent me this list of potential smugglers the other day. Here you are. Given I owe you for the last job, I hope it serves some use. That's right. Classified station, top secret projects, etc., etc. Nothing you need to be concerned with at the moment, Captain. Yep. Every ship on that list has a route that goes through New Atlantis. Not surprising, given we're the biggest port in town. And if they're smuggling stuff there, you can bet your ass they're smuggling stuff here. It's been a pleasure.
How's the investigation going? Is that right? Do you know the name by any chance? See you later, Captain.
After action report, Guard Bryant reporting. We got a tip from an inmate about some equipment being stolen from one of the supply rooms. We did a thorough sweep of the place and came up with 2 mining lasers and several power packs missing. After the alarm was raised, all of the inmates' cells were searched, but we turned up empty-handed. I have no idea how the inmates were able to get into that storage room and hide that gear without...
Found those smugglers yet? Is that right? Captain Enjai's ship. I think you might have hit the mark here. You had reports of their crew being less than professional on several occasions. Still, being a little rough around the edges isn't exactly a crime. Are you sure it's the right ship? Then the next step is searching their cargo for any smuggled contraband. And, as would have it, I believe the Anansi has already arrived at landing pad B. I'll make the call to have the ship detained until further notice. Your job is to board the ship, locate any illicit goods, and return them here. And if any of the crew puts up a fight, I trust you know what to do. Good luck.
All unit behaviors are dictated by...
It's incredible.
see security? My suggestion? You turn around and pretend you saw nothing.
Looking for something? What now? Well, it looks like you got me, officer. I guess this means my potato shipping days are numbered. Maybe you'd be willing to give a first-time offender a slap on the carpal bone. I don't suppose you're interested in a deal? It's simple. I give you a large sum of creds. You turn around and tell your sergeant the ship was clean. You drive a hard bargain, Captain. But very well. Here.
Security? My suggestion? You turn around and pretend you saw nothing.
Looking for something? Well, it looks like you got me, officer. I guess this means my potato shipping days are numbered. Suppose you do have a point. The penalty for smuggling con. And how bad can the prisons be anyway, compared to a fine?
This isn't over.
We'll cooperate, but don't think for a second we'll talk. I'm a smuggler.
For you. A lot on your mind? Actually, yes, I do. Hey there. Glad to see. Bring me anything useful.
How's the investigation going? Good work. Did you find anything? Very well done, Captain. Time and time again, you come through for us. Initially, I felt bad for having someone of your rank doing security, but frankly, you're worse than guilt. In any case, I'll have a team move the ship off the landing pad and do a full sweep. Make sure there's no other surprises on board. Oh, and before I forget, your payment. It's well deserved.
Unless we're picking up parts at Deimos or digging for minerals, I hope you have a good reason for landing here.
I heard you helped out Mitch.
Many people think psychology is only good for treating past emotional trauma, but it's a great way to prevent it in the first place. God damn it! Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. That wasn't directed at you at all. I'm just really stressed out at the moment. You're fine. Actually, maybe you can help me? I'm aware of what you did for Trevor. Don't worry, I'm not gonna say anything to Peter. I feel like I can trust you. I'm Gilly. I'm a psychologist working for Deimos, and I've been utterly swamped with work lately, trying to make a deadline. I could use a hand tracking down some of our employees and delivering psychological questionnaires to them.
Those psychological evaluations could prove useful to both Deimos and the miners themselves. Perhaps we should lend Gilly a hand.
You can? Oh, wow, thanks. I don't even know who I've got left in this stack, but take a look at the names and track them down. When they've all filled out the forms, just bring them back to me and I'll go through them. Just tell them you're assisting Gilly. Oh, and don't read what they write down. It's supposed to be confidential. Thanks again.
Time to sleep.